separate yourself from I wouldn't even call them traditional Christians, but Christians that are like.
This is Surf Game.
And you in the field with the Trackstarz.
Let go.
Yeah, back in the field with the Trackstarz. Ryan Righteous, SEANTANA, DJ Jeremiah. What's good?
What's going on? This episode is sponsored by True Strength Apparel. Make sure you go to www.truestrengthapparel for all the latest gear. Shout out to Mike Sarge, man. Shout out to everybody who's a part of Nectar Elite. Those artists are doing extremely well. Mike Sarge, Angie Rose, they just got picked up for a show in South Carolina, so he's doing his thing. We got other artists in Nectar Elite that are doing extremely well.
Swift, their
Surf
song,
Gang, Loso.
Hear Me is climbing, man.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Hear Me is climbing.
That's what's up.
And Loso has the Change Up joint out. So, I mean, y'all are doing excellent things, man, for the body of Christ. So keep it up.
All right, so what we're supposed to actually be talking about is it's been a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world, and it seems as though there's an issue with people abusing the power that they have. Now, okay, so there's a lot of I'm pulling this from a lot of places, but specifically, my wife watched a documentary called The Keepers. Have you heard of that?
Mm-mm.
So The Keepers is about a young lady who was like real young that was molested by these two priests.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Oh,
and they basically manipulated her, basically saying like, God won't forgive you unless we do this, and God won't forgive you unless we do that. And they kept doing that over and over again.
Wow.
And a nun finds out about it. Spoiler alert for all this. A nun finds out
That's
about
messed
it.
up, man. Come on.
And I haven't even seen it. I'm just from me hearing about it. A nun finds out about it, and they killed a nun.
Oh, wow.
So this is a deep story. Really gross stuff, really nasty. But they're using their spiritual authority power over these women.
Yeah.
And that may seem like an anomaly if I didn't know of another story like that in my life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is a common thing for people in spiritual places of power to abuse that authority over the people who look up to them and like basically look up to them as speaking for God. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is dangerous in itself.
Right.
But what is the cause of Christians that are falling away, or so-called Christians living almost worse lives than the people we're trying to reach? Do you see that?
Yeah.
Where like your Christianity and the power you get with saying that, when you fall away, you fall hard. Like I'll be shocked if I heard non-Christians doing what they did. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's so devious. What is there something in that causes you to be worse than the people you're supposedly trying to reach? I know it's like two different questions, but
I think it is.
it's like
It's
I have
like a
I have
pile-on
more.
sandwich. Yeah.
I have more questions.
I think it
There's
is.
a lot to that.
So, you know, we always say it's harder for you to be a believer and stop believing than for you not to be a believer and just, you know, continue to question it or never believe, right? Because when you're denying the Holy Spirit, you're denying like your purity on the inside. And when you fall, you go all the way out. Like you're like, okay, I'm smoking everything I can find. I'm drinking on this. I'm hitting this girl. You just go crazy. And so I think that when something like that happens, you go on the deep end because you're trying to prove a point. Somebody outside in the world already, they're not really trying to prove a point. They're not trying to prove they can be demonic or they can be bad or in any kind of way. They're just basically saying, hey, this is what I do. I live my life, whatever. So I think when Christians go that way, when they fall away, they fall so hard because they have a point to prove. They're mad at God. They're angry with God. They want to deny that he ever existed. And so they're just like, I'm going to explore every bad thing that's out there.
So what would happen in these two priests' mind? And by the way, the priest went on to be like a cardinal, and this is not really in our Protestant world, but that's pretty important, right?
Yeah.
He went on to do other stuff, right? What would be in their minds that would say, this is an underage girl, by the way. She was a teenager. What would cause them to say, oh, you come into confession, you're confessing all this sexual sin. Let me have sex with you to clean out the sin of the old sex, right? And let me do all these nasty things that are invented in my brain because I have this power over you. Like, what is causing people to do this in the church. Like, it's so
power.
gross.
Like you said, power. When people feel like they got power over you, they feel like
Yeah.
you submitted to them. So when you're submitted to them, they feel like they can tell you what to do, tell you how to live and everything. Even like, the sad thing is, even like, this is sneaking into the Protestant church, because like we broke away from the Catholic Church because we saw certain stuff that they would practice, they were doing that was not biblical, and it was like, that's not of God. So let us separate from you. But now that's creeping into it, where it's like, I gotta go talk to my pastor about where my next job gonna be, or I need to talk to this, or you know what I'm saying, instead of going to God yourself and really asking God, like, God, what do you want me to do? And then getting people's confirmations, like, if God is like, stay, I'm like, well, okay, God, show me what you need me to, the reason why I need to stay here or whatever, you know what I mean? But all the way going back is just that when people have authority over your life, they feel like the girl's probably thinking like, in her mind, she's probably thinking like, I don't know if this is right, but I trust him, so it must be right what he's doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a brainwashing.
This is all about the documentary The Keepers. This is what this is based on. If you're just joining us, The Keepers. Like, so go watch it if you want context. But it's just really sick to me how somebody in power that's supposed to be in power for the reason of godly things.
Yeah.
Can separate themselves so far away from what they did that for, that they can do something so dark.
It's kind of the same thing when you think about priests, right? They don't believe that they should be married. So biblically, they don't mess with women, but they'll mess with little boys. So it's almost like
this is priests messing with little girls too. It's
I know,
all over the place.
But I'm saying, but you think about, okay, the attraction to a woman, right? Even though she might be younger, it's still very devious. But what's crazy is when you're thinking about a little boy, and you're thinking, I'm holding up one standard of God, but I'm completely forgetting about the other standard. You know, it's just it's backwards.
Wow, it's a hard thing, because I think the word is trust. At the end of the day, it's like, I trust this person to be getting me even closer to God. So I'm confessing to him so that he can help me get closer to God. That's what confession is. Is even if you confess to him about something and you like, I want you to help me to get closer to God, and then you're like, well, what's the name down the street? You gotta go there and give this girl $1 and some money, and you know what I mean? Like, it's just like your off mentality about.
So the lady went on The View, and there's a Catholic lady, Sunny Hostin, I think her name is, on The View, and she was just saying how this kind of shook her faith hearing this story, because she's Catholic, she believes in all that stuff, and the lady said, don't let religion get in the way of your faith, or something like that. Do we agree with that?
I agree with that, because I don't look at the religion of Christianity and let certain Christians that do things the wrong way influence my faith, like what I truly believe in. So I don't look at the church that's allowing homosexuality to preach in the pulpit be a reason why I fall off.
And here's my other question. I do see the seed of some of this even in my own life and in friends' lives, of being so proud of the fact that you're doing one thing right, like what Ryan was saying, and actually doing other things wrong. Like, so us being able to, we were virgins till we got married, but I did some other things that weren't good either, but I was so proud of being a virgin that if I felt like I had some sort of equity or something to be able to do some other stuff. And so I think everybody is a little bit in danger of being proud of some of their piety in a way, and allowing other things that they don't think is that bad to sneak in on the backside. And I think that's what happened with some of these guys. It's like, well, I'm a priest. Like, I should be proud of myself for being this priest or a cardinal or whatever. So it's not so bad that I'm doing this. I just don't see how you fall that far.
I think we need to, like, one day, like, maybe do a dissect on Catholicism. I mean, we did dissect on 5%. We did it on Hebrew Israelite. We may need to do that, because I think the thing is, it's like, because I remember meeting somebody years ago in my job. I was working, and she kept saying, like, I'm a Christian too. And I was like, but, like, you are, but, like, some of the, like, I need to talk to this, like, it's not like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of off. So I didn't know how to go at her. I just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but then what that reminds me of, which I feel like the theme of today is I feel like what we often do is we find sins in other people really easy, and we don't see it in ourselves. Theme of the day. So I just yeah. I think we're right about a lot of the stuff we see, but clearly we got a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
wrong.
I'm not
Yeah.
negating like we're Superman and they Lex Luthor. I'm saying that like I'm looking at when we dissect stuff, like when we look at it and see like, okay, this is what they say here. Okay, I agree with that. But this is what they say, and then we don't agree with that. You know what I mean? And I think that's what could help us, because I think another thing too is that it is creeping in the Protestant movement. Like I think a lot of stuff that Catholicism has done over the years is starting to creep into our side, and that's the reason why we rebel in the first place.
The question is, how do we prevent it? Because a lot of people who are not Christians or reject the church is because of stuff like this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like it's a lot of pain and hurt happening out there.
Yeah.
And people are like, yo, forget that.
Yeah.
If that's what this is, I don't want no parts in it. So how do we get rid of it?
You have to separate yourself. I was just
From
leading.
what?
You have to separate yourself from I wouldn't even call them traditional Christians, but Christians that are like radicalized in some way, where they're just like they tell you, you know, things that you need to know, but it's coming from a false place.
Who are those people?
I mean, you can point them out in a lot of churches. You just don't want to. So I was talking to a group earlier today, and I was just saying, look, I get it. Y'all are young men. Y'all are college dudes. Y'all are probably struggling with this, that, and the other. I get it. Like, I don't want to stand in front of you and make you feel like I don't have those issues or I haven't had those issues before. And I think you get around a lot of Christians who they won't talk about their past. They just won't, because they're like, well, you know, I don't have a past. Well, that's not true. You do have a past. What is your past? But so you just skate around it and you don't become authentic.
I think another thing too that we have to stop doing is we are the church. We are Christians.
Yeah.
Like, even though certain Christians do act stupid or are not Christians, we are still Christians. Like when you say like those Christians, it's like, no, we are Christians.
No, I'm talking, but what I'm
You're
saying,
talking
like
about
the judgmental people who are just willing to condemn you and say, come on, baby, let's get in this corner and pray Jesus. You know,
I
over your life.
understand what you're saying, because like, prime example, Loso,
Yeah.
somebody posted something about Loso and street hymns, and this guy was going crazy. It was a guy, and it was a message board, and he was saying like, they're not Christians, they're not real, they're not this, and like, I said, let me do the old school click and see what he likes. This dude was like, I love Young Thug. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, how you condemning somebody if you like, you know what I mean? Like, I never understood that. So what you're saying is, it does make bad, but it's almost like family. It's like you have people in your family that it's like out there, and you like, man, that's my family, though. I still love them, but I have to distance myself from them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're still Christians. We're still the body
and
of
I don't
Christ.
separate from that at all. But all I'm saying is that you have to let people know that you're authentic in your walk, and that what you are talking about is your experience.
That's what caused. Okay, to me, I feel like we're all talking about what the Shaolin thing in a certain way. I feel like
what thing?
Everybody, you don't even know nothing about it.
I'm gonna talk about it in my entertainment report.
Everybody feels like they're doing it the right way, and that pride can really cause some problems.
I don't think he's going to
talk
explain
about it later.
He's going to explain it. I'm explaining what he said.
All right.
I don't want to misquote him, and I want us to hear what he wrote, because I'm gonna read what he wrote.
Okay.
But using that, it wasn't even like what he said.
I don't even want to be talking about this.
Okay.
Because this is like a 20-year argument. The same people. The
It's just
same
more-
tunnel rats cross movement argument for 20 years. The
Yeah.
same individuals are still arguing about it.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's get back into it. You in the field with the Trackstarz. Ryan Righteous, SEANTANA, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.